load up the next save state, which is this little checkpoint here. There you go. That's how quickly we can do things here at Shots Fired. I'm still gonna quickly take a sip of water, and then we're getting ready for the next level. The next game is a little bit longer. This is Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. And once again, we're playing here the 80% category on easy difficulty. Joe, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready to go again. Our steamed hosts are ready as well.
I see that at least on Steam the layout has changed. I think we're good. Then count us down.
All right, here we go again, chat. So, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go again!
Woo! Alright, so we should talk quickly about why we're playing this on the European version. This is one of the few cases with Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 where the European version actually is faster compared to the NTSC versions.
If I remember, if I remember right, the European PAL version has a different frame rate as opposed to NTSC, which allows you to move faster on screen as opposed to, let's say, HD collection of MG2 Solid Snake.
Nice. Got away here.
Yeah, which, as you can see from Metal Gear 1 to the sequel, it's vastly different in a lot of good ways. One for which is the, more vibrant contrast colors, the awesome soundtrack, and actually having more stealth elements in the game, such as being able to crawl. We actually get to use the box. Yep. And also my favorite is just running up to a guard and going, just... Yeah, punching them will kind of daze them for, I don't know how many seconds it is, but it's long enough to allow you to sneak by without having to deal with them, because alerts in this game actually have more of a consequence than in the original, which we'll talk about that later.
Yep. There we go, we now officially infiltrated Zanzibar land. Just the second location where Big Boss has been positioned here. Also for the first time we have the Colonel with us, Colonel Campbell. And once again we are Solid Snake here on a mission. The first task we have to do is we gotta infiltrate here and find out where the Metal Gear of this game is, which is called Metal Gear D. And for that we're gonna infiltrate here and don't get a single alert up to a certain point. Gonna be super stealthy, hopefully.
Yeah, so what he's doing here with elevators is when we call it, we're crouching and kind of, going up against the door, because when you enter the elevator screen while standing up, it kind of sends you a little further along. It's like an auto walk. But if you crawl into the elevator, it's a shorter distance and puts you closer to the call button to go back up or down a floor. And what you even saw there is we call the elevator while leaving that part of the bridge. To get a level 1 key card, and the elevator door stays open long enough for us to come back, and without having to call it back twice. Boop.
All right, we're good. No single alert here, so that means for us this upcoming boss will be dealt with RNG Seed 0. It's super important for us because that means he will be always in the same position, because he will teleport around now on the level here and not where I expected him to be. That's fine. And we can just shoot like this.
So...
There you go.
Yeah, you thought the first boss fight was against Dr. Marv, who actually is someone we're supposed to, help us, but in actuality, it's an imposter known as Black Ninja.
Yep.
Which, staying on the outside perimeter and where he teleports, you can kind of just stay put, trade shots with him, drop him down before, he drops you down. And now, we talked about in the last game where keycards were kind of bypassing the sequence with doors and bosses and all that, where we could skip a lot of it. This is where they corrected that, so we do have to beat the majority of the bosses in order to advance in the game.
For now, next task. Yes.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, yeah, using the same tech with the elevators from earlier with crawling in.
Quite indeed. So we heard a little bit from Black Ninja about Big Boss and how everyone is following here. And our next task is, of course, finding the VIPs, which is Dr. Matner and Dr. Kiyomav. Because the whole story here is that we're in an energy crisis. And this Dr. Kiyomav actually found out about a little microbe called Oilix that can make oil out of nothing. We're like, oh, that's very good for us. We should definitely save this doctor. And for that, to follow the first lead, we gotta follow this guard. There we go with the green beret.
Yeah, so what you just saw there was an intentional alert to set up that green beret guard to appear at that hangar exit specifically, so we don't have to wait for him to move around, which for the next couple of minutes, we're going to be doing quite a bit of waiting.
Yeah, I mean, at least we have great music to go along here. They definitely stepped it up for the sequel. This is released originally in 1990, and once again, we're playing the PS2 version here, which was bundled on the second disc for Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence.
Yeah, and this is again kind of going back to what we were talking about, where it features more stealth elements as opposed to what the original game tried to do. And I guess furthermore, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with House before his run today was, like this is really serving as a really great milestone for future games to be with, Metal Gear Solid 1, since it does follow the gameplay style and the scripting and the storytelling. Well, besides obviously going into the 3D world.
Yep.
But it's a really wonderful game if you have a chance to play it along with Metal Gear 1.
Yeah. I have to say, I never played them casually. Metal Gear 1 I knew was tough, but I just learned this as a speedrun. Fun fact, I learned this as a speedrun a day prior before I was commentating for a speedrun race for Metal Gear 1. Metal Gear 2 was sort of similar, I think. I think I very quickly learned it before our 35th anniversary stream that we had last year at the Metal Gear Speedruns community to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Metal Gear 1 being released. And of course the series with that. And you were back then the runner who did the run, and I was commentating.
Yeah, funny how it comes full circle, huh?
Yeah. Joe and I also had a speedrun race in this game, and it was lots of fun, so yeah. Hopefully we're doing more races like that once again in the future here.
Yeah, so it may look like we're circling around, and it's because we are, but thankfully the Green Beret Guard is picking it up a little bit. Yep. So the thing about him is we have to follow him, not only just because it looks cool and it's per the story, but he's actually revealing this part of the jungle for us, because right now the map screen in the upper right is blank.
Yep.
And what we can't do is, well, for one, we can't get spotted by the Green Beret Guard because he runs off screen and we have to start over, which is not fun.
Nope.
But two, he's leading us to where Dr. Madnar is being kept in one of the buildings here. Yeah, that little nice double back. Just make sure you're not behind him.
Ah, okay. I want to get away with honor, but it's fine. Right,
yeah.
so here's a knocking puzzle. Yeah, here's a little knocking puzzle, and Dr. Madnar wants to tell us his coding frequency. Thankfully, we don't need to solve it. We can just immediately call him, we're good. We're not gonna listen for knocks for half an hour.
Yeah, I mean, there's cues in the game where it asks you to refer to the manual to solve certain puzzles, and of course, I didn't have that manual when I was trying to learn to run this game a while ago, and it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, thank God we have YouTube videos.
Yep, absolutely.
For how to do things.
Yeah, we're gonna quickly get some ammo here. These are mines, and now we're gonna make our way to the next boss. Good focus a little bit.
Yes, definitely not one of my most aggravating parts of this game, which is the swamp. There's a hidden pathway that you could take and staying upright, and not only just the fear of sinking down when you step off by a mistake, but it's every time you step back into the swamp by accident, it slows you down, and you'd be amazed how much time you lose.
Oh, so much.
Wow, that was actually really nice pathing, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh boy, the next boss fight. You guys are gonna love this.
It's called Running Man. Guess what he's doing? He's running.
Look at him go!
Oh, he's so fast. Yeah, he even takes an extra round just to show us that he's fast. Apparently Kojima's favorite boss of the entire series, so we'll take it as it is.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a boss puzzle fight where Running Man is always going to run opposite to wherever you are on the screen, and then what House is going to do here is plant the claymores that he collected earlier and then just go across the screen to make Running Man go over the mines.
Not quite what I was aiming for. I want him to end on the left screen, but if you go too quickly over to the other side, he's still in his iframes and doesn't explode on the mine. But it's a bit of a time loss, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty finicky between explosion cooldowns when you're trying to loop it.
Yep. Want to be fast, but in this instance, not too fast, for sure. Alright, now we take the same bay back again.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier, where it could be very easy to make a mistake in this swamp, and you could be on, like, the best pace of your life just to mess it up here.
Yep, I know that feeling. Looking good so far. Just up and left, and that's it. No problem. Zero mistakes today. Let's go.
No mistakes there.
Love it.
Well done.
Thank you. We're gonna quickly prepare, because before we go north to the next building, we gotta fight a boss, and that boss requires us to get stingers, so let's quickly do that. Oh yeah, what does PAL mean? So PAL means that we're playing on the European version. Back in the day, in case you don't know, in 2006 on PlayStation 2 games, we're actually running a little bit different. So in Europe, everything was running at 50 Hertz, or 50 images a second. In the US, and specifically Japan, they were running at 60 Hertz, which is called the NTSC standard. And for some reason, the developers were like, yeah, you know what? We're going to give PAL 11% speed upgrade versus NTSC versions of this game. And for speedrunners, that's great, because we run 11% faster everywhere. That's what it means when we play on PAL version. It's specifically the European version here.
Also, shout out to the alert music of this game.
So good. Yeah, once again, this was an intended alert, just because we can walk away faster. Normally, alerts from guards slow us down and cost like a second roughly, but if a camera sees us, we actually don't slow down. We can immediately walk, so that's very good for us.
Yeah, so we're going across the desert to the next boss fight, and for some reason on this particular part of the sand, it's squeaky sand. It just makes this little squeaky sound like as you're running across.
It's literally called singing sands in the save. Big boss, I guess.
Wait a minute. It's the revenge of the Hindy.
Ah. By the way, main character according to the end credits later.
and there's actually truth to that. It's not made up.
Yep.
Alright, so the Hind moves in a consistent pattern, which we're just going to use the Stinger to, you know, lead the shot. 3 hits. Boom.
There you go. That was the Hind.
Yeah. Yeah. No key card drop from the Hind, but you need to defeat it in order to actually cross over to the next building.
Yep. I'm gonna quickly kill this guard to distract everyone else, and now we're gonna finally get the cardboard box and go.
Yeah, so he's just gonna tap on that guard to give him enough time to answer the codec and get in the conveyor belt with the box.
Yeah.
Box.
Yeah, in this instance, the box teleports us into the building here. I'm gonna quickly get a call here. Oh, 14015. I know that codec. So yeah, already in Metal Gear 2, 14015 was for the female side protagonist. Helper? I don't know. Sorry. Language confuses me sometimes. And yeah. Just like Metal Gear Solid later, 14015 is for the heroine of this game as well. Now, the real debate is who's best girl? Is it Holly or will it be Meryl? I'll let you decide in chat. But as we're moving on here, we gotta save Holly quickly because she told us, oh, actually, I'm in a room without any windows or doors and I don't know how I got here, but I hear water next to us. And we're like, water? I don't know what that means, but because we know, we could just gotta quickly go to the underground here. And because there's no doors, we're just gonna make one.
Yeah, so what he's gonna do here is collect some explosives, which is gonna be for blowing down this fake wall off to the right here.
There we go. Now we got the level 4 card, and also we know what we need to do next in the story. We have to go on top of the tower and find a pigeon which has the codec frequency of Dr. Kielmarv, the scientist that made this Oilix microbe. Alright,
All right, hope you got your snorkel and your swimming fins on, because we're going for a ride.
Whee! Yeah, there's very strong currents. We can only go counterclockwise. If we miss our exit point here, we have to do the whole thing again.
It sucks.
It does. A fun thing about this game is Metal Gear 2 is actually timed in IGT. Metal Gear 1 is mostly timed in RTA. And the thing is, with the IGT, if it sets a checkpoint, actually, after you die, you go back to the checkpoint, and the time also reverts back to then. So, at least for any percent, this does give you a little bit of leeway. Of course, if you're going for Big Boss rank, which the PS2 version has, it has ranks, you're not allowed to die, of course. So, there, definitely, a continue is just game over for you, if you want to go for the Big Boss rank. Alright, so we just got some grenades. Please, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he's getting grenades, which are another key item throughout this run. And then we're gonna double back into the sewers to go back to the first elevator. It's kind of this, you know, like it's kind of like an odd transit, if you will, to go from one part of the facility in Zanzibar land to the other.
Yeah, we need these grenades for the next boss fight, and casually, if you don't know what you need, you always go up to where you think you're gonna go, and then just notice, oh, I have a key item in yet another building, I gotta go all the way back again. The speedrun eliminates most of the backtracking, but there's still a lot.
Yeah, it keeps it fairly minimal, just based on what's required.
Yep. My estimate for this category in RTA is 55 minutes, and in the last few times that I practiced this game, I was more closer to a reliable 52 minutes, so it's less than an hour, and that's quite nice still, despite everything. At least in the PAL version, as I said, 11% faster. NTSC, which is its own category specifically, is taking a little bit longer. Like around, I think, 6 minutes longer.
Fun fact, when you look on the mini-map when House is in front of the elevator door, if you look at the actual, like, pathing, and you see the red dot where Snake is, it actually kind of looks like a snake.
Yep.
If you look closely enough. It took me a while to actually realize that while I was just running it. It's like, hey, that looks like a snake. Go figure.
So guys, when we build this new Zanzibar land, we need to make it look like a snake. Official dialogue. Alright, time for more boss action, and once again, Metal Gear 2, we fight almost all the bosses. Well, actually, we fight all of them, period. And this one is called Red Blaster, because, I don't know, he's wearing green on the ceiling, but he explodes in red, I guess, so that fits. I'm just gonna throw a few grenades here. Yeah.
Yeah, so all he does is throw grenades, and he shimmies back and forth. And we just need to do this in order to actually get the door to open at the end there. So I think he's got maybe 2 more hits.
Yeah, there you go. It was a bit fast for me today. 2 misses, that's not good. Alright, here comes the big RNG point of this run. RNG is sometimes a matter in here, and this upcoming part can be very annoying, so let's hope we're lucky.
Oh, please, messenger pigeon, please be nice.
Oh, I don't see it yet. Oh no, it's on the floor.
No.
It's not good because it will go up and start flying around as soon as I get... Yeah, there we go. It has a certain flight path that it takes just circles around here, clockwise. And if you start and it's already on the floor, it will always go up by the time you go there. If you're lucky, we'll land now. Nope, it won't. And so this is the RNG part that I mean. We just have to wait for this pigeon to land and then hopefully grab the message on its leg. Alright, that's good. Actually, oh, I don't need to call him. Hang on. Gotta get this manually done.
Colonel, we got the message pigeon.
Awesome, Snake. Now figure out who to call. Because actually there was a puzzle attached to that. Once again, we know already the frequency, so we can just do it like this.
Yeah, so Dr. Marv only speaks in Czech, so Snake doesn't understand a word he's saying, so he calls Dr. Madnar back after getting that codec frequency and just establishing contact, and Dr. Madnar now tells us the next step, which is to find Gustava, who can act as an interpreter and also is essential to advancing the next part of the game. So, here on out, it's just a little bit more backtracking.
Indeed. Because we gotta go all the way back again to Building 1. He's hiding in the 4th floor and... Well, yeah, as I said, a lot of backtracking. I'm not going to reveal what's going to come next because I think it's more fun when we actually get there. But once again, Metal Gear 2 will show that it's basically the template for Metal Gear Solid later. So I quickly take this elevator all the way down. And little fun fact, at the top of the tower, when we get the pigeon, there's a trick that can save us IGT, because as I explained, normally we time this game in IGT. I did not do it because we're having a marathon. I want to be quickly done in RTA this time. But after you call Dr. Matna, the moment you call him, there's a checkpoint already been set, and then you already continue through his dialogue and everything, and you gotta get away. If you take a death, you will be teleported back to the entrance of this rooftop, and also time will be reset back to before you called Matnar. So if you want to sacrifice a little bit of RTA, you can get some IGT back by just exploding yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of identical to the death farming House did in MG1 with getting the rocket launcher ammo, but it's more for just closing the distance from point A to point B.
Indeed.
Although that mechanic is in this game as well, where if you die multiple times, it will refill your health bar, but we don't use that in this run.
Yeah, because at the end, there's a thing where we gotta get rid of all of our inventory, and getting extra inventory actually is not good for us. Alright, gonna quickly take the elevator up, because Gustavo is on the 4th floor. Funny enough though, this elevator doesn't go all the way to the 4th floor. It only goes B2, B1, and then 2nd floor. And then we're gonna take the right one, which only goes to 1F, 2F, 3F, and 4F. So, it's gonna take some elevators today, I guess.
I don't know, somebody thought it was a good idea to make these elevators like this, don't ask me.
Alright, here timing is of the essence. We wanna enter the next room and punch a guard. And then we want to quickly get away before the laser hits us. There we go, very nice. Because we want to be, once again, super stealthy on the sword, not take a single alert here. So we gotta find Gustava, and she's currently in disguise as one of the guards. And she will also, of course, run around if she hears an alert and will change her position. And if we do not take a single alert here, which so far we're not, that's good. Open the door. She will always be in the same position for us, which is, of course, way faster. Gonna go in the dark here. I know, of course, perfectly where to go.
Hey, you turned off the lights.
Oh, wait, we're not being captured? Well, these are just puppets, and this one guard is the only one that's here that's actually real. They wanted to figure us out with this game and want to look like, oh yeah, there's so many enemies in this game, where the MSX computer back in the day just couldn't handle it, so they just put some dummies there just to scare us a little bit. Alright, and here is Gustava in disguise. As we said, this is basically the template for Metal Gear Solid, so just like Meryl later Metal Gear Solid, Gustava also hides as one of the enemy soldiers and then goes to the ladies' bathroom. Notice also there's an elevator in the ladies' bathroom. We're just not gonna comment on that. It's just convenient for us.
It's just there.
It's just there. Just accept it. The series gets weirder from here on out, so I think having an elevator in the ladies' bathroom is not the weirdest thing yet. But it's definitely a weird start. Alright, so we're going back down again after we just got to building 1. We're gonna go to B3 underground, and now we're back to building 2. But this time we're gonna end up where Dr. Mata was, but on the opposite wall. So instead that we need to knock on the wall again to have messages being sent, we literally actually meet him this time. Also, this is an RPG now. We got a party, actually, following us.
Yeah, and the biggest enemy in the underground narrow sections of the game are those armored tanks. I kind of nicknamed them armored Roombas because I just feel like they're just there sweeping the rooms back and forth, and
yeah,
well, they're gigantic. They didn't make them compact yet.
Yep. I always like to think this is the next generation of these bulldozers from Metal Gear 1. So it looks similar, and they're still sweeping everything, and they're one-touch damage.
Well, and they can move around in more than one direction, so that's a plus.
True, yep. That's a way faster.
Dr. Bednar joins the party.
Woo! Let's go. We're gonna go for a hike. We're gonna go north, because we know now that Dr. Kilmarth is actually in the 3rd building, and the 3rd building is actually on a little extra island after building 2, so we're gonna make our way north. We're also gonna have a nice chat here about the Cold War and where we are connected with everyone. After Dr. Matt takes a quick pause here. Here's an old man. Gotta give him some breaks every now and then. And we're back again, moving north. Alright. Very quickly gather everyone here. This does not save any time. I just like gathering here in front of the elevator. This looks nice.
Yeah, one thing I don't know if we mentioned yet is that when we're in this part of the game where we have Gustava and Madnar with us, is that we can no longer crouch.
Yes.
So we can't do that elevator tech where you crouch going into the elevator to save you time on movement. So we're just kind of stuck with it for the time being.
Yeah. Here's the first big innovation that Metal Gear does for the series, an interactable cutscene. Not only do we need to wait here, we also need to walk forward in order to trigger the next sequence of events. So Madnar's here like, yeah, the bridge is safe, we're good to go. Okay. He said himself, he's an old man, if he dies, it's no problem. Man, I wish that would have been the case, because instead, this is happening. As soon as we walk forward...
Nothing's gonna happen here. No!
She's dead. Bye, Gustavo. We barely knew you. Yeah, so literally, Gray Fox comes forward in the Metal Gear of this game, Metal Gear D, and he exploded the bridge, sadly killing his girlfriend. So that's not good.
Metal. Wait, oh, it's not Metal Gear, it's just Metal Feet. We're good.
Metal Feet.
Yeah, you only see his feet. You don't get to see the rest of it until later.
Yeah. I like the design. I think the design of Metal Gear D is so much better compared to the TX55. But that's besides
absolutely.
Alright, are you ready for more backtracking? Because we're gonna do, finally, the last set of backtracking here. Once again, we're gonna go from building 2 now to building 1, because we gotta find a glider. Because as we've seen, the bridge, of course, has been destroyed, and how do we get now from building 2 to building 3, or the next island? Well, they used a glider at the last Christmas party, and with a glider, that's awesome. You're just gonna go to the 20th floor of the second building, and just use the glider to glide over this little gap. Problem is, of course, I mean, the glider's back in building 1, so off we go. Getting our walking shoes out.
Yeah, so at this point we got the level 6 key card from Gustava, as well as part of her necklace, which is an important thing for later. And we're taking this trip back through the desert into the jungle into building 1, as opposed to doing the swimming section again from earlier.
Yep.
Again, shoutouts to this alert music. I love it.
Oh, it's really good. You don't want to hear it often in a speedrun, but sometimes when we get these alerts, they're totally cool. So this alert, for example, is fully intentional. I want to take it because I want to mix around the guards for later. Because we will drop the alert as soon as we reach the glider, thankfully, and when we come back out again, actually, things are way easier for us to navigate because the guards will be in a different position and way easier to avoid. Here we go. Oh, more fakes. Alright, we can just go. Well, this one guy is not a fake? What the hell, Kojima? Like, for some reason, there's one guard on guard duty here along all of these dummies, just to make sure that no one gets the glider. I mean, somebody gotta do the job, I guess.
I would always joke that, like, the extra decoys are basically a surplus of when Venom Snake and Big Boss had like all those decoys manufactured from the base R&D, so it's like, hey, they gotta put all the surplus decoys somewhere.
Gotta put them somewhere.
They just stockpile them.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, back again to the 4th floor, because while we're here, we're gonna cut out some backtracking. Normally we would have a backtracking all the way at the end, coming back again to the second building. Knowing that we have to do this now, we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna quickly punch the guy again and avoid having an alert here. Because we want to have an alert here. There we go. From the camera, as I explained, camera alerts do not slow us down, and so we can move on like this. We'll be followed for a little bit, but the cool thing is, if I leave the screen exactly like this, we get away while being in evasion, and then on the next screen we won't be followed anymore. We can immediately go. This saves us just a little bit of time, but it's enough to be actually saving us time. There you go. Once again through here. Tripping the trapdoors. Thankfully, we are moving fast enough that we don't need to worry about them. And once again, we get here through the dummy room, and we got lucky 2 times back to back. We didn't get the alert here. Let's see if the next one works the same. All right, looking good. Oh, now he saw us. Okay, that was weird. I literally took a step forward. What the hell?
Yeah, the guard vision in this game is kind of unique. It's in MG1, they see in a line if you picture a grid. Yeah. And in this game, they actually have more of a field of vision, even though you can't actually see the cone on the radar as you could in past games. But it really is quite interesting, like how much they changed the dynamics of this game from MG1 to MG2 Solid Snake.
Yep, quite so. Yeah, what we did here was actually going into the freezer room. In the freezer room, there's a ration that we need, a yellow ration. And also, we're gonna cool the brooch that we got from Gustavo. It's actually a memory-shaped alloy. Just like in Metal Gear Solid, as I said, Metal Gear 2 is the template for Metal Gear Solid, and it changed to a key instead of being a brooch. So, alright. Now we got the key that we're gonna need later, and then that saves us like multiple minutes of backtracking at the end.
Yeah, fun fact, you can actually heat the key by going into a sauna that's in the barracks of the 4th floor in Building 1. It gives you access to a different locker, which has a cassette tape. Yes. Which you can get. It's not required, but yeah, just the whole heating and freezing is just, wow, what a coincidence. Just like the PAL key in MGS1.
Yep. Yeah, that cassette tape plays the Zanzibar anthem and then allows you to walk past some guards because they're saluting, I think. It's not super useful, but it's a fun thing that they added to this game. There's also so many items like this little robot mice that you can set like traps and they will distract guards and walk away from the usual path. There's a camouflage mat that we don't use at all in the speedrun, but the game has really plenty of items. We haven't even picked up all the weapons. There's so many more.
Yeah, like there's the handgun, there's an SMG, there's a weapon attachment for the SMG if I remember right.
Silencer.
There's a silencer. So yeah, there's a lot of like optional items you can get in this run, as well as MG1. But again, it's just routed to collect the essentials only.
Yep.
So while he's going up to the 20th floor, he's going to set up mines on the floor here of this elevator. Because, well, I don't know, nothing bad's going to happen, right? We're just going to go up to the...
Cautious. Yeah, it's a little technique that... Yeah, it's a little technique that Joe actually did in our speedrun race that we had a while back. Instead of waiting for what's to come next, he actively walks around in circles and has these guard, the 4 horsemen, trip actively here in these mines. Killing them just slightly faster. There you go.
Boom.
Very nice.
Yeah, the guard opposite to where you are in the elevator will jump down, and you can use that to manipulate them to jump down as consecutively as you can. And what I was gonna say right before they showed up was like, you know, I think the 4 horsemen in Outer Heaven were mad that we ignored them, so now they ambushed us in the elevator.
Yep.
And they just held a grudge all this time.
Yeah, the question came up again, once again, while we're playing specifically on PS2 PAL. Only the PS2 PAL version is 11% faster rather than any other version of the game. There's, of course, also on PS2 the NTSC region releases, and, of course, also the HD collection releases. All of them run slower. Only the European PS2 release runs 11% faster, saving us 6 minutes overall.
Yeah, like the game will play the same, you know, I mean, as far as quality and all that stuff. It's just for optimization, the PS2 PAL is preferred. Oh, wait, I recognize this sequence. It's almost like we had to run up a bunch of stairs in another facility.
Yep. Once again, Metal Gear 2 showing that's a template of Metal Gear Solid. We gotta go up some stairs, because as I explained, the goal is to reach the next island where Building 3 is, but the bridge was blown up. So, we wanted to go to the tower in B2, go to the 20th floor, and take the glider to glide over there. But the elevator that we've just been ambushed at 20th floor, of course, is going down again. We can't go to the 30th floor, that will be too high. So what we're gonna do instead is take the elevator up to the 10th floor and then walk all the way from the 10th floor to the 20th floor outside of the building. I wish we could skip this. This takes like 2.5 minutes, but here we are.
Yeah, Yeah,
And-
shout out to these guards that keep up with you on the steps, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're troopers. Once again, this is another reason why we want to play on PAL. 11% faster. If you're doing this on NTSC, it's not 2.5 minutes. I think it's like 3 and a little bit more minutes that it takes. So yeah, being faster is nice.
Yeah, if only Gray Fox didn't sabotage the elevator. What a jerk.
Yep. My favorite character getting mentioned just barely in Metal Gear 1. As I said, he was the first target that we needed to save. We find him in the prison, rescue him, and then like 5 lines of dialogues, and then he's gone. In Metal Gear 2, has a way bigger role to play, and if you want to understand why the ninja is so important in Metal Gear Solid, you have to play Metal Gear 2. Because all the backstory is being lived right here, right now.
Yeah, there's a lot more tie-in to this game than in the original, although there are other games that do tie into MG1, and first thing that comes to mind would be Ghost of Babel, I believe, because it's built on the remains of what was Outer Heaven, and it's another great game to play if you have a chance to play it. But yeah, MG2 Solid Snake and MGS1 have more of a symbiotic relationship between the storylines.
Yep. So many story beats basically just get remade in the 3D environment this time, 8 years later.
Oh, was that noise?
What was that noise? What was that noise? Alright, I'm gonna go for a quick smoke. Don't mind me. It's gonna...
Yeah, so you would think gliding off would just be as simple as equipping the glider and jumping off, but we actually have to wait for the wind current to be just right, which is indicated by the flashing white on when you had the cigarettes equipped. I know, I mean, it just can't be simple.
I just like to think Snake takes a little break after all this walking. It's like, alright, before I jump down here, I'm just gonna... Whew, get ready.
Alright, where are we dropping, chat?
Tomato Town. Is that still in the game? I haven't played Fortnite in ages.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was going to say we're dropping at Zanzibar Land, I still would have given them credit, even though we're not going to go anywhere else.
I mean, yep. True. Alright, leaving the glider behind here, it's time to move on. I love the music, it's so funky. I said this often, but I cannot say it enough. And here we go. Time for the next boss fight. A favorite, I guess.
Yeah, Jungle Evil. Battle of Snakes in the Grass.
Yep. Originally called Predator in the MSX version. And you can see why. He's constantly hiding. Like the Predator, I know! Only this time we're not smearing ourselves all with mud to be hidden, because it doesn't have infrared vision, he's just a normal guy. That doesn't pop out. Where is he? There we go. There you are. Yeah, we're gonna throw grenades at him.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is probably one of the most random boss fights in the game, and easy source to gain or lose time with his behavior popping up in different places of the area. You want to keep him in the same quadrant as you. Sometimes he could pop up like in one of the other corners of the map that you're in, and that's obviously what we don't want.
Yeah, so annoying.
Yeah, so the reason why we have to go through here, other than getting his key card, is we gotta get one of the most important items in the game is the egg.
Yes, there are 2 eggs, one to the left and one to the right. We specifically want to go for the left one, because the right one holds a snake actually, and you cannot prevent it. It will hatch as soon as you have the egg in your inventory, just like the owl egg that we have here. The snake egg will hatch a snake, and the snake will be constantly in our inventory just eating our rations. We want to prevent that, because we don't want to have our rations being taken away. We need them later. So of course we don't want to go for the right egg, we always go for the left egg, because we need the owl as well for a solution to a puzzle. Alright, gonna quickly grab this ration here. I want to actually leave the truck. There you go. So what I found out, once again, shoutouts to you, Joe. You've been doing things a little bit different in our race. I was being cautious and not getting an alert here and spending more time on this previous map. And as we have a load zone here, we change over to this map. Actually, it's better for us if we spend more time on this map. Because this whole puzzle here with the egg is that the egg is hatching into an owl, and that owl will then make a guard here believe in front of the fence that it's nighttime. I don't know, once again, elevator in the ladies' bathroom, don't question it, it just works. This guard here, once he thinks it's nighttime, will open the gate for us and go to the right panel on the top right corner. And if he spend more time on this map here, this guard will go constantly back and forth, but he will end up on the right side, way closer to the lever. So, taking this alert that we've taken earlier, I know, 20 lines earlier after I started to explain this, it's actually useful for us to spend more time here.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing sometimes you can find these things out, whether if it's on, you know, on N10 or not. It's something I just happened to do in a run one time, and, you know, some areas you don't want to be under an alert, and in this case, like earlier with the Green Beret guard, it's actually beneficial to be under an alert to get this guard to be closer to the button as you can. And, wait, look at that.
There you go. You got the owl.
Hatched into a fully grown owl?
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love nature.
Thankfully this guard left his watch at home, and it's like, oh wait, it's nighttime. It's time for a shift change. Gotta open up the gate.
Yep.
Thanks, guy.
And there we go. Now we can enter. Alright, so watch out in this next room. There's a bulldozer. You're not prepared to easily die here.
Oh yeah, it's. I died like running into it, and I've especially died on the way back trying to. You know, cut corners with the timing, and don't do it. just for everyone listening, don't do it.
Don't do it. Not worth it.
Yeah. Just show respect and get out of its way.
There we go. I'm gonna quickly take care of this guy. That's fine. There you go. Don't need to kill him. And let's get ready for the next boss fight. This next boss fight is called Night Fright, and he is invisible. How do we kill him? Well, we just stand in a certain position and hope that he walks into a line of fire.
Yeah, so what he's gonna do is just go down one spot to that container and just throw grenades at him.
Come back.
And if we're lucky, he'll stay put, which in this case he wobbled off to the side because we want the splash damage to keep him contained, but whether if he stays there is random. Yep. So he grabbed these 3 brown B1 rations, which is, again, part of another puzzle, where there's this pool of acid throughout parts of the base, and the ingredients in the B1 ration will cancel out the effects of the acid, allowing us to cross through safely, because if you don't have it, or don't have it equipped, when you try to go over the acid, you just sink down, and you get a game over screen.
Quite so. Yeah, it's the chocolate, apparently, that has a certain chemical in it that will dissolve the acid. Well, okay, sure. Once again, we've seen weirder things. Elevator in the ladies' bathroom.
Yeah, the game has its fair share of puzzles compared to the original. So this backtracking is probably something I despise personally. It was really a way to extend the game just to get one key card for one door. So if anyone could figure out a way to skip this part of the run, I mean, we would love to hear about it. It would save us so much time and effort having to go back just to get this one card. Yeah,
in the morning, everyone was getting ready and like, okay, we have an infiltration. Everyone grab the cards for the doors. Well, Jungle even went in and got 2. He got the level 8 and the level 9 card in this arena. Night Fright just went empty-handed, so we're like, okay, just going back for this one card that we need for exactly one door. Right, there it is. Oh yeah. I said we're done with backtracking. I guess that was a lie. I'm sorry. There was more.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that key card only appears once you reach the part where you need to get to that door, because you can't get it like after the like, you know, with the Battle of Jungle Evil, because the card somehow just magically appears later. Yep. You know, so that's kind of why I was saying if anyone can find a way to skip that process, or somehow get the level 9 key card earlier somehow.
Yep.
However it is, just, you know, it takes this backtracking out of the route.
Lord knows we have a lot of it.
Bonk.
Bonk. Yeah, they were shaking their heads like this, like, oh no, 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 no. I gotta wait here again. There we go. Fun fact, right now we are not on pace for PB/world records, but we're only 12 seconds away from it, so this is quite a good run so far. Can't complain. Press the button. I just don't care about the damage right now because we really have enough health. There we go, mines. And as soon as we leave the elevator here, the alert is over anyway. Alright, here we go. Now we can finally take the level 9 card for this one door and one door only to find, finally, Dr. Kiyomash. Wait, he's dead. Wait, what? Was he dead? Apparently he died of old age, Dr. Matna says. I'm not too sure about that. This is a little bit suspicious. Why is he dead? Where's the cartridge where he put the Oilix formula on? Well, in this next dialogue that we hear right now, it's like, Snake, be careful. Dr. Matna is evil. We're like, well, you better Metal Gear. Of course he's evil.
Yeah, he is looking kind of sus and whoa.
Whoa,
okay,
whoa.
he's trying to choke us. So
This old
thankfully
man.
we can just... Yeah. Again, don't ask me why. It's somehow he has the physique to be able to put Snake in a hold and try to choke him to death.
Yep. He's over 80 years
Oh,
old,
look,
just to remind
there's a
you.
cartridge.
Yep. But it's surrounded by radioactive hamsters, and they kill us immediately with one touch. So we gotta be careful. We gotta kill all of them here. Just let them come out a little.
Whoa.
What's the rest? Oh.
Oh,
See, one got away, and I got
no.
distracted. I was like, what am I doing now? Oh, no. Well, good thing the estimate is a little bit more. The last checkpoint was set here at the elevator as we left, so alright, it's fine. Gotta do this again. This time I will be a little bit more careful. I'm sorry, guys. That was not intentional. But it's fine. As I said, we have enough time in the estimate, so we're just gonna quickly come back here. Once again,
Yeah.
gonna take care of Dr. Manor here.
F's in the chat for Dr. Marv.
A gamer through and through. Alright, so let's do this again. All we need to do is just plant 4 of these mines. If you're not having enough mines, you can also use grenades. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, there we go. There we go. Get out with the card. Alright, this time we don't hopefully die. We want to get the attention of these hamsters. There's cheese in this yellow ration. And that makes them follow us. I don't have that much ammo, so I cannot spam here. Sugar, there's like 2 more. And there we go. Alright, good. Yeah, sometimes that happens, I guess. It is what it is. But hey, we got the MSX cartridge with the Oilix formula. Let's go.
Wow, 4 mines and Dr. Mann are still kicking.
He's probably a Metal Gear himself, I think.
I don't know, maybe he's got nanomachines in him that keeps him, I don't know, tough.
Who knows? Maybe that.
But yeah, at this point, he's telling us how to defeat Metal Gear D, which is using grenades on its legs, and we conveniently go down this really long slide. Whee!
All right, flashing light warning for this entire fight versus Metal Gear D. It's very strong, so if you're having a problem with that, be warned. It's gonna take like a few moments. We'll let you know when you can watch again, just to be warned.
Wait a minute, that's not Metal Feet anymore.
Nope,
It's
that's the
actually
whole
Metal
thing.
Gear.
He gives us the full Metal Gear D. I'm just gonna throw grenades here at the legs. You can roughly do 4 at once, and then you gotta change positions again. I was gonna be careful here. Alright, that's Metal Gear D done. It's still flashing, just saying. I'm kind of worried I need my own sunglasses quickly. But yeah, just a few grenades to his legs, and he's done for. And now we're on fire after this fight. Oh no! So this is the thing that I mentioned. We have to get rid of all of our items in our inventory because they're on fire and they're constantly damaging us. And here we go. Here's the legendary fight versus Grey Fox in the minefield. And oh, he stepped on 3 mines and is dead. So I guess we're not going to really beat him in the fist fight, we'll just literally walk into mines and the splash explosion kills him. That's the end of the ninja.
When you fight him as the ninja in MGS1 and he's referring to this like epic fight that they had in Zanzibar land, that's what happened. Yep. It was just him getting lured into a bunch of mines and wait a minute, it can't be. You died!
Wait a minute. Well, we're in the final arena, we got rid of all of our stuff. What do we do? Well, we gotta collect all the things again here, and what we need to do is make a weapon out of something. So far the only thing that we have is a level 1 card, so let's try to explore a little bit more in this arena here. A level 2 card, let's go. Let's see, something else is here. Hey, the whole time we're gonna ignore Big Boss here.
Yeah, so he's gonna be going around the room multiple times, counterclockwise, which is gonna be like one key card opens to a specific door, which has an item we need to either another card or, in this case, it's gonna be the makeshift weapon.
Watch out here.
With this, yeah, I've fallen into these acid puddles too many times to count. Not paying attention, especially that one right there for the level 5 card.
Oh yeah, it's so mean. If you take one step down as you enter the room, you're immediately dead. It's 1 touch damage, and you're immediately dead. Alright, here is a flamethrower with hairspray and a lighter. And we're just gonna set him on fire. Oh, right into Metal Gear Solid 4 a little bit. I'm just gonna follow him here, and he will constantly come back and forth. Back, also please, not just forth, thank you very much. And that's it, there we go, Big Boss is dead. For the last time. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, he's doing the I'm on fire dance.
I mean, he's literally glowing.
It's not over yet.
Wait, oh.
Now I know where Liquid got it from.
Yep. This is Metal Gear 2, just a template for Metal Gear Solid later on, but it really stands on its own as a 2D experience as well. I really love it. And so the final thing that we need to do now is doing the escape. Because this guard actually was Holly. Hey! Now Holly and Snake will escape here from Zanzibar Land. Because the mission is over. Metal Gear is dead. We got the Oilix formula and we beat all the bosses. Including the biggest of them all, Big Boss. Fun fact here, we're actually running even faster now on PAL. If you were to place on NTSC, now with the speed up, now we would finally match PAL as well. So this is fast.
Yeah, they really dial it up with the escape section, thankfully.
Oh no, wait, isn't that Liquid or was it Solus? No, the big boss of this game is the real big boss. And spoiler for the Phantom Pain, the big boss that we killed in Metal Gear 1, that is actually Venom Snake. Alright, the final step of this fight is coming up here. We're just going to stand here on the side and kill 13 guards roughly. Because this infinite weapon, infinite ammo gun needs to run out of ammo. I know what I said. This infinite ammo gun needs to run out of ammo, and that's scripted because we need to spend some time here on the screen. Once we're getting ready here, we can finally leave. Time is not yet. I will let you know when time is. We're just getting to the end sequence now, where we don't have much to input anymore. I just need to hold down X to skip the cutscenes, but that's it. That's the mission of Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake Zanzibar Land. So best friend, the guy in the helicopter, is coming over to save us, and we'll be home in time for Christmas dinner. Because this whole thing was actually a Christmas mission. You didn't know that? Well, now you know.
Yeah, like he says it here at the end where he's like, yeah, we'll be home in time for Christmas, and it's like, good, I'm getting sick of these rations.
And time's coming up. Time. Sorry, it was a bit short notes, but yeah, time. There we go. Alright, we're within estimate. Unfortunate death there, but as I said, quick notice. If you take a death, you just get back to the last checkpoint, and the IGT also sets back to the IGT. So, despite having this one continue, the final time in IGT is 49 minutes and 13 seconds. That's literally the exact same time as the world record before I beat it. Because the current world record is 48 minutes 52, but before that it was Mini Omega King, shoutouts to him, the person that motivated me also to go deeper into Metal Gear 2, who had the world record before me. So yeah, that was Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, and of course, that's the 2D Metal Gear block of tonight here at Shots Fired. My name is hau5test. Thank you, Joe, for joining me today. It was a pleasure to have you by my side.
Yeah, once again, thanks for having me. If you guys want to learn how to run this game or Metal Gear 1, feel free to check us out on MetalGearSpeedrunners.com through the wiki or the MGSR Discord, and enjoy the rest of the Shots Fired marathon.
Yep. We have all the tutorials on the wiki, and I specifically also happily teach you. Metal Gear 2 is seriously not run that often, so if I can motivate anyone here tonight, give it a shot. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot to it as well. But yeah, let's hand it over to our host, and thank you everyone for watching. Oh, one last note. This is not the end of the Metal Gear block. Tomorrow, also starting at 5:30 p.m. CET, Central European Time, we also have the second phase of the Metal Gear block, this time in 3D. I'll be running Metal Gear Solid 2 normal, and after me will be Nick RP Green with Metal Gear Solid 3 all characters. So don't miss that tomorrow as well. Worth watching. All right, now I'm done. Thank you.